fact how extremely essential medicines and remedies can be. Ever since the history of the medicine, it has been a huge help in the human race.
Throughout the time, many prevalent diseases and viruses phenomena happen, and many thanks to science and technology for the scientists and researchers studies about it and find ways to stop and completely resolve this kind of problem and prevent further more victims and death counts. And these scientists and researchers that gives their time and effort to study medicine for medical purposes are later on called pharmacists, doctors, nurses, and etc., whom are the professional individuals in the field of medicine.
Despite the fact that we are now living in the modern world and where technological advancement is prevailing,
Why are there still many people who would still prefer the traditional way or the herbal treatment?
that's why we are here to further or extend your knowledge about this theme.
We are here to discuss to you guys what is the meaning of
Bioprospecting.
Pharmaceutical products.
and indigenous knowledge.
So what is bioprospecting? Bioprospecting is simply a process of searching for plants or animal species that holds medical components and later on obtained for commercial purposes. Many natural substances were usually being used by humans for medical or other purposes, with bioprospecting being responsible. Bioprospecting started ever since the time of indigenous people for the reason to treat generic diseases, which caught the attention of the many and started to gain knowledge from it and have it innovated for financial purposes, which is under control with an agreement, which that there is a commissionary share going to the indigenous tribes or wherever they got the resources. And it is called responsible bioprospecting, wherein commercial users of bioresources such as pharmaceutical or cosmetic companies agreed to comply with certain provisions. In return, they gain access on the knowledge and the resources of traditional medicinal plant products, which they develop into bioproducts later on. However, not all bioprospectors are nice and responsible. There are some evil people who will prioritize earning money and does not care of the balance and conservation and the sustainability of the biodiversity, and does not equally share its profit to the indigenous people who help them. This is what we call biopiracy, the use of indigenous knowledge of nature by third parties for profit without any permissions and fair share of profit and recognitions from the indigenous people. Although this is all driven by the reason of money, there are still reminders on the venture of bioprospecting. We must keep in mind the balance of biodiversity and its sustainability, and also a fair share of the benefits of bioprospecting. Its sole purpose is to have an alternative way to cure diseases in a much effective way or sometimes cheaper.
Roughly 100 years ago, the average lifespan of a human being is less than 40 years old. But now, considering the technological advancement, especially in the field of medicine, it has increased the rates up to 70 years old, an increase of 75%, all thanks to life-saving drugs that has completely stopped life-threatening diseases such as polio, yellow fever, or smallpox.
The pharmaceutical industry provides new life-saving drugs, employs millions of people, and boosts the economy through exports.
One huge benefit of pharmaceutical products is the reduction in time spent in the hospital. In the past years, the average length of a patient's stay in the hospital in the US has dropped by 35%, particularly from 8.4 days to 5.5 days. Since hospital bills are the most expensive of all healthcare systems, this helps people to save money than before.
So what is exactly are pharmaceutical products? Pharmaceutical products are more commonly known as medicines or drugs. It is a fundamental component of both modern and traditional medicine. It is essential that such products are safe, effective, and of good quality and are prescribed and used rationally, not to be taken multiple times, since it may cause overdosage. Pharmaceutical products roughly started about 200 years ago and was perfected in the year of 1900s for the reason to treat diseases like tuberculosis and diarrhea. The concept of putting all the nutritious components in one tablet for one uptake was a success and became helpful to the human race. A lot of fake drug issues has been prevalent in the late 2000s. Manufacturers who built fake remedies and tablets also driven by producing money. Driven by money, a lot of manufacturers has conducted addictive drugs that are being sold illegally worldwide as a business and satisfaction. This tackles a lot of global and societal issues and may take too long if to be discussed. Failure to comply with the requirements of producing a drug may lead to tragic side effects driven by mad scientists that may start a zombie apocalypse maybe.
So what is exactly are indigenous products? Indigenous products, are also known as indigenous medicine, refers to the products made out of a plant or any other organic products that are used to cure, treat, and prevent illness of an individual. The usage of indigenous medicine started during the ancient Sumerians about 5,000 years ago. During that time, individuals used plants as a medicine.
So, diseases and viruses have been around as humans, and ever since, some are new, some are incurable, and some are extremely dangerous and fatal.
Other examples of viruses that are historically notorious are still present in the present times. Here are the following examples. On the other hand, the history of medicine was quite fun to know. Before the Enlightenment, the technological advancement, and anything else, the people are indigenous.
The way they resolve generic diseases is through rituals or prayers, and especially indigenous treatment, which is the one we are going to tackle in this video.
Here are the benefits of herbal medicine. First, they are more affordable than conventional medicine. Second, they are cost-effective. Third, it promotes natural healing. Fourth, it lessens side effects. Lastly, it is widely available. On the other side, here are the disadvantages of indigenous medicine. First, they are inappropriate for many conditions. Second, it takes longer time to heal an ill person. Lastly, third, lack of dosage instructions. An ill person have no clear directions how to take it and how many times to drink it.
Herbal treatment or indigenous medicine is still being practiced until today in many various parts of the world, which some professional doctors question or even sometimes agrees or it depends.
So our group decided to check it out ourselves if herbal treatment is effective or not, because who may never know what is possible. Scientific
medicine. So, herbal medicine is a great option.
I trust Western medicine.
Scientific naman.
For me, herbal medicine. Kasi mas healthy siya sa tao.
Pinag-aaralan din ng mga kanyan, doktor. Yung mabisa para mapabilis yung paggaling ng pasyente.
Only because before it becomes a medicine, it has to undergo long process.
Because para po sa akin, mas napapag-aralan ko kung paano gawin yung mga scientific medicine. It's more effective than
nagiging habitual kasi yung mga gamot na nabibili sa botika. Once na nagkasakit ka, hanapin mo yung gamot na yun. Magiging parang addictive sa ibang tao yun at sa akin.
Yes, actually today we are using traditional and herbal and synthetic medicine. Kung tawagin yung mga synthetics, that yung mga pinaformulate natin sa laboratory from chemical compounds. But what can I say is that there are 50-50 at this time. People are looking the herbal. Sometimes the patient also, yung mga isang pasyente na hindi naman talaga magagamot ni herbal. So, obligado pa rin silang uminom ng mga medicines na yon. Actually, siyempre, tayo nga mga tao din, nagkaroon tayo ng mga knowledge before pa, sabi sa'yo, at ancient time, meron na talagang gumagamit ng mga herbal and traditional medicine. But the thing is, dahil nga meron na tayong high-tech technology, yung use ng herbal and traditional medicine, hindi tayo sigurado na safe siya 100% dun sa taong umiinom or gumagamit ng gano'n. Kaya nga, as a pharmacist, we are aware also na nilalagyan natin yung mga box or FDA, Bureau of Food and Drugs, na no therapeutic effects, yung mga herbal medicines or mga food supplements. What does mean no therapeutic effects? Ibig sabihin, hindi siya curable. Kumbaga for maintenance lang siya. So people thinking na nakakagaling siya ng cancer, nakakagaling siya ng hypertension or whatsoever diabetes. So doon nagkakaroon ng miscommunications between the people, Department of Health, halimbawa, FDA, doon sa paggamit ng gamot na yon. Kaya, isa pang advantage din, halimbawa, binang herbal, meron kasi mga taong masyadong sensitive sa mga synthetic or may chemically compound na gamot, yung allergic reaction, yung adverse drug reaction dun sa products. Okay? Minsan, nagreklamo sila, para kahit paracetamol, meron silang allergy, magkakaroon sila ng mga pasa-pasa. So sila namang minsan ginagawa nila yung herbal medicine na kung anong mga pwede nilang ipahid. So ginagawa nila yung para lang maiwasan nila yung mga side effects na nila.
There are already a lot of problems in the world today, so let's not be one of them. Biopiracy is a crime, and a crime has consequence. Stealing is against the law. Let us work fair and consider the welfare of other people and sustain the indigenous knowledge until the next generations.
We need to be responsible in our actions. It is true that we have the rights and we have the power to change the whole world. But let us not forget as an individual that we also should not abuse our power. So what are you waiting for? Let us not waste time, but rather let's make things fine. People should know the importance of sustainability in the economy.
We stand against biopiracy because if you will compare it to us, it is tantamount to human trafficking. Immorally harming the factors in the environment will lead to chaos, and indeed, a good intention can never make a wrong doing right. In order to address the issue, such as the biopiracy, the government or authorities should take charge, most especially the DENR and the FDA, to control our drugs and our environment. The DENR should take limits so that the people who are taking illegal drugs will no longer be tolerated and they cannot get passed through the government or the authorities who are in charge of that